migration crops up quite a bit in my work, and I think migration's relevant to the sort of human experience, because I think it's a very deeply ingrained concept in human beings, and I think it's part of our genetics almost. I think 200,000 years ago, when we left Africa, everyone was a migrant. When Homo sapiens were exploring the planet, we were all migrants, and now 200,000 years later, we're at this point where humans have colonized almost every single habitable location on the planet, and a lot of places which aren't even habitable, like the Antarctic. You know, this is so inhospitable, yet we've managed to sort of work and live there. And I think that it's part of our genetics. I think there's something inside us which spurs us to travel, and as you can see in these pictures, these days, one of the few reasons left for people to migrate, other than, say, refugees migrating, are people who have livestock in their lives, animals, and this is true of these Kazakh people here. They are moving overland purely because they're moving their animals to places where they can feed. And on the whole, all around the world, you see migrations occurring from colder places in the summer. They move south. When it gets warmer, they move to those places. And it's the same every place I've ever been where I'm following a migration. Like I was saying earlier, I've just come back from Siberia, and in the Yamal Peninsula, the Nenets, I travelled with one family, they migrate 2,000 kilometres in 1 year. It's unbelievable. It's the most intense migration I've ever been on. They're moving sometimes every day, you know. In this particular family here that you can see in these photos, I've known this family for quite a few years now, and my relationship with them is very close because I've migrated with them 4 times now, and every time you do it, the bond is solidified more and more and more, to the point where now I call them friends, and very good friends at that. And amongst ourselves, we call the men between us, we call ourselves brothers. And that kind of thing evolves. It doesn't just happen. It comes from experience and from bonding and from going through hardships together, which is what you can see here in these pictures. There's an element of hardship in all the migrations I go on, and it's important because the human experience is solidified by the struggle. And so as a consequence, the harder it is, the more intimate your relations become with the people that you succeed with. My experience in Trento Film Festival has been very, very interesting. I think what it's taught me is that the kind of films I like are possibly in a minority, because quite often the films I liked, the rest of the jury didn't like, and the films they liked, I didn't like. So it was interesting because, you know, we were all filmmakers in the jury. I think, you know, I had my own personal opinions on films, and the one particular one that I really loved, and one of the reasons I loved it was because it was funny. It was a funny film, and often in sort of these kind of mountaineering adventure films, they sometimes lack humour because they're normally about an intense struggle, and it's all about, especially if it's a mountaineering film, you know, it occurred to me on this particular, during this festival, that if I was going to climb a very high mountain and I was bringing a film crew with me, then I think that is the craziest thing you can do, because the only time your film's ever going to get seen is if there's an accident or a disaster. So I think if you bring a film crew, you're asking for trouble. But you know, that's the kind of films people want to watch. However, I enjoy the ones that are more, a little bit, I don't know. You know, it's a great experience. Being on I mean, who wouldn't want to watch 22 films in your own private cinema? And you know, it's good fun. I enjoy the prospect. I didn't enjoy all the films, but that goes without saying. It's like life. You don't enjoy everything you do you?